Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
And it's time for the last.
That's right. Get off my crabgrass.
We think it's the last. We're not sure.
This could be.
Yeah, we're kind of the interim show. The only show KNON ever put on intending to take us off.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
we might be on next week.
It could happen.
They have a new show that's scheduled to start. They might not be ready.
Yeah.
So we'll be here.
We'll be ready.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
Yeah.
So, next week is
not
Pledge Drive. Week after. Yes,
okay.
We do miss Pledge Drive.
Oh.
Yeah, they get to start on Pledge Drive. How
Yay! That's how we started. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, when we came back on, we were started on Pledge Drive.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
But, you deal with it.
Donate to us because you have no idea who we are, what we do.
That's right.
I like that.
Thanks.
I like that. Yeah. You were talking on the last show about your being the show that tries to get everybody together, and you want people to work together. Our show here is the show that splits everybody apart and angers everybody.
Right.
I would hope
that's our task in this hour.
What we do.
Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah. Although for a KNON listener, Ted Cruz this week.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the
okay, even John McCain called him a wacko bird. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
John McCain.
Well, and what's his name? The second in the House. Oh, John Cornyn.
John Cornyn.
He's distancing himself.
He's like, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Texas? Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, did you see the polls? In Texas, Ted Cruz increased his popularity.
Yeah.
The rest of the country, he's like down in the sewer.
Yeah. He's in the negatives, okay? He didn't even make it to zero.
Well, but here's what's kind of interesting. This comes from Think Progress. Ted Cruz admits that the budget standoff was all about building fundraising lists.
For who?
For him.
Really?
Yeah. Ted Cruz conceded on Wednesday that he would not hold up a vote on an emerging Senate deal to reopen the federal government and avert a federal default, but admitted that the 3-week-long budget standoff, which began with his 21-hour I didn't realize it was 21 hours. His 21-hour speech on the Senate floor was nothing more than an effort to build his fundraising list. Because what they did during this, if you went to Ted Cruz's website, if you went anything that had anything to do with anything, they sent you to a website. It was I don't know the name of the PAC, but it's a political action committee that supports Cruz, urging Congress to defund the Affordable Care Act. And do you know how many people signed up?
5?
2 million.
2
million. So he has a new mailing list with 2 million people who think the way he does, that the Affordable Care Act is this, well, they don't call it that. They call it Obamacare.
Yeah.
That Obamacare, and actually Obama even calls it that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? Roll with it. Can't beat him. Might as well join him out.
The thing is it going to work great at first?
No. Did Apple operating system 7, is that what it was? I think 7, 8, I don't know. Did it work well at first?
I have 8. We were just talking about it. No, it doesn't.
Okay, so did we tell Apple to pull it back and start? Yeah. Don't know. People are still out there buying those phones.
But did Medicare work perfectly at first? No, it didn't.
Did Social Security? No, it didn't. No. You have to tweak it.
And it's more than tweaking it. In this case, when Medicare came in, it was passed in memory of President Kennedy,
right?
Basically. And people were behind it. There were a number that voted against it for whatever principled reasons they had, but they were against it probably because they thought it would cost too much. Partial, who knows what the reason?
Poor people,
whatever it was. Well, they help elderly people who can't take. But for whatever reasons, but it wasn't the level of hatred that came with this one. And the difference is with this one,
there's a black guy involved. Let's just put it out there.
Let's just say it that way.
Let's just say it the way it is. Okay?
But because there is. Instead of negotiating things at the very beginning that would work,
right?
They were negotiating, okay, we know that won't work, but you want it, so let's put it in there. And let's put this in there, too, which will work. So it was, and this 1,000-page long document is so unwieldy because they were arguing against people who were purposely trying to sabotage it. Nobody was trying to sabotage Medicare, just some people voted against it.
Right.
So there was a plan, but they voted against it. There was no plan with the original Affordable Care Act other than everybody needs to be covered
with
somehow.
Healthcare. That's right.
Somehow.
Right.
And that was the idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought, no.
Yeah. No, we don't want it.
Right.
It's the black guy's idea. And if you have an opinion, 972-647-1893, you're welcome to call.
That PAC is called Heritage Action.
Oh, the Heritage Foundation.
It's part of them, yeah. They collected $330,000 for Ted Cruz.
Isn't that
during
nice?
the last 3 weeks while everybody else was out of work. And
$110,000 every week.
Yeah, they said it could be as many as 1 million people do not have jobs as a result of not just this shenanigan, but all of the little financial shenanigans that have gone on during the year, shutting down the government, threatening to shut down the government, threatening not to raise the debt limit.
$24 billion, right?
Something like that. 1% of the gross domestic product affected for the year.
That's a lot, really, if you think about it.
It's an awful lot.
That's a whole lot.
It's an awful lot.
This last 3 weeks cost the federal government $24 billion.
Well, we don't even know what the full effect is because...
That's just the government.
If the credit rating goes down at all, if the government has to pay 0.1% more in interest rates, it's something like $2 billion.
Jesus.
It's something like $2 billion per 0.1%.
What is
so we don't know the full effect yet.
So really the GOP does not understand economics.
Yeah, of course they do.
Well, then what the hell's wrong with them?
They want to destroy Obama.
They want to destroy the black guy.
and they feel that this is the only way that they're ever going to take the White House again. We have Tony on line 2. Hey, Tony.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
We're good. How are you?
I'm going to talk about Ted Cruz, and I'll go with the whole Obamacare issue. Number one about Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz's strategy is to paint President Obama as a far leftist.
Sure.
To swing the pendulum back to, okay, can we get a conservative elected?
Mm-hmm.
So what he's doing is, his plan is to take the 2 years that he has to the presidency to say, this is what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows the Tea Party is behind him. The problem is when he tries to swing to the middle, it's going to hurt because at the end of the day, is because you have words that he has said that is far to the right.
Sure.
So, but what he's trying to do with President Obama, he saw the blueprint how President Obama got elected with no experience, and take that and say, I can do the same. I can replicate that, but be conservative because we put John McCain, we put Mitt Romney in, and it didn't work. Now, the problem he has is when he tries to come to the back, come back to the middle, is that he's against immigration as we know it now,
right,
as the president's trying to do. The problem with that is this: his father just got his citizenship in 2005,
right?
Which you got to explain.
Mm-hmm.
He bought his way to the front line in Cuba.
Yeah.
He came to Canada His father came to Texas, married his mother. They moved to Canada. He was born in Canada.
Right.
The question you ask as a reporter is, okay, what was your stance with President Obama when he was situation as far as his birthright?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna leave that and go to the Republicans and they're trying to destroy President Obama. President Obama tried to meet the Republicans where they were.
Sure.
What was it? The policy from the Heritage Foundation. What was it? What was it? Policy from the Heritage Foundation. I know the healthcare mandate. That's what they had. They had a policy. They wrote a paper on healthcare mandate. That came out of a think tank, the Heritage Foundation.
Right.
The carbon credit was a Republican idea. No Child Left Behind was a Republican idea. So a lot of things he said was okay for Republicans. I want us to come together and get America moving. So I'm going to move to the right to get these passed. Because President Obama is black and because, they went against their own policies. You have Republicans who are saying, well, no, we never believe in that. There's major Congress people who supported those issues then.
Sure.
And John McCain was one of the people who wanted immigration passed. And the problem is this. And since President Obama been in office, the Republicans had to ask him this one question. Okay, what is the solution to health care? They have not put one plan to counter his plan.
You're right.
And if the American people put a Republican in office without at least having a plan, I'm not talking about Paul Ryan. I'm talking about Ted Cruz is there. He's supposed to be smart. What is his plan? I'll leave off there with that. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for calling, Tony.
And he doesn't have a plan. I already asked him.
Part of what's so ridiculous is, I guess because he's black, we assume he's far less left-wing, of course, right?
I guess.
Of course.
I guess so.
Obama's very moderate.
Yes, he
His
is.
policies now
are very
don't look at the man. Just look
Close
at the
your
policies.
eyes.
Close your eyes. He's always been
let's-
very moderate.
And let's remember, he is half white.
That's
I
where
keep
it
trying
comes
to tell
from.
these people.
That's where it comes
Just
from.
look at the white half. Don't look at the black. You'll be fine. God, what's
it-
wrong with these people?
No kidding. It's so frustrating because people believe it just because of his race without understanding the policies that are behind it at all.
Exactly.
Take the Affordable Health Care Act. What those of us on the left wanted, and I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm left.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am.
I'm kind of left of left.
Kind of left of there.
Yeah.
What we wanted was single payer,
that's
which
right.
means basically extending Medicaid to the entire, or Medicare to the entire country.
Right. But we didn't get that.
And I would have compromised this way. In 2 years, we're going to extend Medicare to everybody who's 60. And 2 or 3 years later,
Make it 55.
55.
Yep.
And 2 or 3 years later, it would be 50.
Yeah.
That to me was the compromise.
Yeah, and I think that would have made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and it amazes me, let's all remember that Massachusetts has what is now called Obamacare.
Which was signed into law by
Ted Kennedy. No, by
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney.
I confused. How you get the two confused. They're very
right.
similar.
They're so similar. Oh, God. Sorry, Ted. I really am. I did not mean that. That's my Uncle Ted.
You think of Massachusetts.
I know. I think, and that's the Kennedy thing comes out. But yeah, Mitt Romney, he invented it and signed it into because it was such a great idea.
He was running for president and disavowed the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. And his other line was, well, states have the right to come up with their own plans, and that's what we decided in Massachusetts. That was the closest he came to, but
actually accepted responsibility.
No, it was a Democratic legislature.
Yes,
it was a veto-proof Democratic legislature. So he didn't have a whole lot of, had he vetoed it, it would have just delayed it.
Yeah.
he negotiated, didn't he?
Yes.
He did throw in some of his own ideas.
Yes.
And all the money does go to insurance companies.
Yes. Yep.
And that's not something that most Republicans are against, money going to business.
Right.
So
it's okay in Massachusetts, but not in the rest
of the country.
I'm
for
so
confused,
else. David.
I know.
972-647-1893. Give us a call and tell us what you think.
During the shutdown, we're going to talk a little bit more about the shutdown and how unsafe it was, and all the things that we lost. I'm taking this from an article from the Dallas Morning News.
Gotcha. So
I'm not taking it from the New York Times, which is trying to paint Ted Cruz as whatever. This is coming from a newspaper in the state where Ted Cruz's popularity has gone up during this crisis.
Why does it always have to be Texas? Why can't it be another state for a change?
Okay, so part of it, I guess, has to do with he is our senator and... But it's okay to dislike your own elected officials.
Well, yeah. I didn't vote for
him. Here's my problem with the way the Ted Cruz nonsense was handled. Okay, the whole shutdown started with his 21-hour...
reading of Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah, well, and
only part of the book of Green Eggs and Ham, because he didn't read the last part. He didn't do a very good
job of reading it, did he?
He left the part out that says, try it, you'll like it.
But during the shutdown,
yes,
we kept hearing about Ted Cruz. Now, there are 100 senators. There are 300 million people in the House of 545 people in the House of Representatives.
Right. And all we heard about...
Not 400.
Whatever.
Yeah. Plus
There's
100 senators.
Yeah.
Why did they keep reporting what he was saying? Why did that make a difference?
Because ALEC likes him. The Koch brothers like him. They are funding his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's paying you, you normally talk about what they want you to talk about.
And you're saying because the Koch brothers that make so many household products, they advertise on TV, not as the Koch brothers, but as their products. Yeah. And so therefore...
Yeah. They're really rich.
Well,
really, really rich. Yeah.
It's more than just money, I think, though. It's money that they really are real good at using, meaning they know how to move it and get media to report on their guy.
That's right.
Because Ted Cruz could have been running around the country screaming, ranting, flapping his wings.
He was.
If nobody was paying attention.
Oh, then nobody would have known.
And who would have cared?
That's right. Who would have cared?
Well, we need to take a little break. We'll be back with more.
And Michael, hang on. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Just hang on through the break.
We'll be back with more.
Get off my crabgrass.
Howdy, this is Dono from the Friday edition of Texas Blues Radio. This Sunday, October 20th, join us for a KNON benefit celebrating my 30th anniversary with KNON. Performances from Larry Lampkin from Fort Worth, Texas, Greg Iser and the Box Kickers from Austin, Texas, and Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch from Dallas, Texas. Very special guests will be in the house and on the stage. Admission includes a free barbecue dinner from the Alligator Cafe while it lasts. There will also be cake while it lasts, so get there early. That's this Sunday, October 20th at Poor David's Pub, 1313 South Lamar in Dallas. Doors at 4 p.m., music at 4:30 p.m. Tickets available online at knon.org. Good records in Dallas and Forever Young in Grand Prairie. Tickets cost more at the door, so get your tickets now. Come on out and help me celebrate 30 years on KNON. Your ears will thank you for it. This is a KNON benefit event.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh.
Well, I noticed dry brush where we wanted our bonfire and suggested we move it. Then Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. Just letting you know you did good.
Hey, guys, that was Smokey. You owe me 20.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
And welcome back to Get off my crabgrass! I'm Dave Taffet. I'm here with Bonnie Mathias. We forgot to introduce ourselves at the beginning of the show because it doesn't matter because next week there'll be a new show here, we think.
We think. You might be lucky. We might still be here, but who knows?
There's a board meeting, I think, after
today,
at about noon or something, and they'll be discussing the new show that goes here because we're just filling in.
We're just a fill-in.
Bonnie's from before, I'm from after.
There you go.
So.
We have Michael. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. I hope y'all are on again, and during pledge, if you're on, I'll call in and try to keep it going.
Well,
wow,
thank you.
Cool.
We appreciate
That's very
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've got two names and two issues that kind of stick out of my mind about the past. And on the affordable health care, it's the name Liz Fowler. And she was on Max Baucus's staff. And basically, she came in, from what I can understand, from private enterprise, pretty much wrote the Affordable Health Care Act, and then has gone back to private practice with Johnson & Johnson. And they're the ones, if you want to make money, buy their stock, because apparently they're the ones that are reaping a lot of the benefits. And then back with the housing boom before it went bust, Brooksley Bourne was head of the CFTC, Commodities Future Trading. And she was trying to look into all the derivatives and all those instruments that, were averaged at 40 times their value.
Yeah, that brought the economy to a screeching halt.
Yeah. And she was shut down because this was during Bill Clinton's administration. And they shut her down, and it was because of Alan Greenspan, Larry Summers, and Robert Rubin. They made sure that she didn't get that message out.
So the real centrist Democrats, the SDCC, you know what I mean. Yeah, the Clinton Democrats, who basically that's what Obama is too. He's a centrist.
He's a centrist.
Very
he's
centrist.
not
I'm not criticizing him.
No,
I'm just saying he's a centrist, and that's where he is.
Yeah.
It's
not a communist. He's not a socialist. He's certainly not a fascist.
Right. Gitmo's still open, and Homeland Security still up and running. So
Yep, that's right. That's right.
It just takes all of us pitching in together and trying to be aware and going about our lives being happy. So I hope to catch y'all next week. And next week after that for...
Well, even when the new show's on, we filled in a few times to the old show. So,
we did. We've
there
done
are times when you have to fill in. Morning News had a story this
Michael.
week. Yeah. Morning News had a story this week, or today, and it is titled "Shutdown's Effects on Ordinary Americans Often Unseen." They didn't write the story, but they did run it. So it was an editorial decision to run this story.
That's a plus.
No, I'm not criticizing them for it.
Right.
I'm saying it wasn't generated here, but it's a local editorial board that says, let's use the story. Here's how it starts. Our food was a little less safe. Our workplaces a little more dangerous. The risk of getting sick was a bit higher. Our kids' homework tougher to complete. The federal government shutdown may have seemed like a frustrating squabble in far-off Washington, but it crept into our lives in small, subtle ways, from missed vegetable inspections to inaccessible federal websites.
There you go.
Yeah, and for most of us, I think it was an inconvenience.
Right. Well, I can tell you that North Texas Food Bank was expecting like 34 truckloads of stuff.
I spoke to them.
Okay.
Here's what happened. Those truckloads weren't scheduled until December. So what they were really worried, it was misreported in the Morning News.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I just complimented, I'm taking that away now.
Yeah, sorry.
They ordered for the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Because they get food from the USDA.
Right.
They ordered for the fourth quarter, I think it was 124, something like that, truckloads of food, which they then redistribute to about 250 food pantries throughout North Texas.
Right.
34 of those truckloads weren't paid for before the shutdown. And those were going to be December shipments. So while they've been very short and the food bank has been at this, the shutdown for the North Texas Food Bank was like the perfect storm because summer is always slow.
Yeah.
September they start ramping up, but not only was this summer extra slow, it didn't start up in September like usual, and the food that came in, they were short of volunteers.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the people to even process the stuff. Then the shutdown happened, and they were worried now, how are we going to get people food over the holidays?
Over the holidays,
yeah. So that was what that was with the North Texas Food Bank. So while I'm saying it was an inconvenience, I was planning to go to the George Bush Library on October 3rd, and I couldn't.
Oh, I'm so
I know. Now, what we found was the gift shop was still open.
Oh, well.
So I was able to get my George Bush memorabilia.
I'm so glad. That's memorabilia, by the way.
Whatever.
I'm thrilled for you. Right.
No, but for most of us,
right.
it was an inconvenience.
Yep.
For people, though, who might have gotten tainted food.
Right.
And the only reason it would have been tainted was because it wasn't inspected.
It didn't get inspected.
And, in fact, they had to call back some people for some...
Because there's some people that got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, would those necessarily have been caught? No, because what they actually inspect, I heard with fish, they inspect 2%. With, they can't go through every piece of meat and, yep, that one's good, yep, that one's meat,
This chicken's good.
They're spot checking.
Right.
They're looking at cleanliness. They're, and it makes sense. And the system works. I mean,
right,
we don't have major outbreaks other than every once in a while. It seems like we do.
Salmonella thing going on.
Well,
but yeah, it's overall as much food is produced and consumed in the United States. We're very
pretty good.
It's pretty small percentages.
But this time during that 3 weeks, now we don't have salmonella outbreaks every 3 weeks.
No.
But there was some kind of a food poisoning outbreak during this. Some people had to be called back to inspect.
Right.
Would that have been caught? Don't know.
Who knows?
If they're looking at maybe 2% of the food. If it was in the 98%, who knows?
Who knows, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But do we know it wasn't caught because they were not there? Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
The thing that the news was capturing that was so, just infuriating to so many people was some of the national parks that were closed. And some, again, I'm joking about the George Bush Library.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah. Duh.
I know you ran to it on opening day, but...
I was out there. I was one of the first ones with a picket sign.
Bonnie's a docent at the museum.
They won't even let me in, okay? They
Homeland
see me coming
Security.
and go, lock the door, it's that redheaded woman again. Jesus.
Homeland Security's called when Bonnie just drives down Central Expressway.
That's it. Watch out.
But, as if that's what was important. We're talking about all these people who were out of work, didn't know when they were going to
get their paycheck. Yeah.
We're talking about the full faith and credit of the United States, which still might cost us billions of dollars.
Yeah. Thanks, Ted. I think we need to start blaming everything on Ted. What do you say? You know how they were always blaming everything on President Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Right.
I think it needs to be thanks, Ted. Doesn't that sound good? It's got a good ring to it.
Does. Maybe that should be the new show.
Yeah, thanks, Ted. That's good. I like that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, Head Start programs were
oh, my
closed.
God. All over the country, 400,000 kids, I think, got knocked out of Head Start.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, it ended up being 3 weeks, and a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, they'll catch up.
Right.
But that's not the point. Some parents use that as their daycare.
Right.
And
they
so
couldn't
parents
go to work.
Can't go to work. Not just federal employees, or they're scrambling for new daycare, or...
Right. Maybe they work at a restaurant downtown D.C. or around the hill. Guess what? Nobody's there to eat.
And it wasn't just there. It was around any federal facility.
Right.
We have a federal building downtown. Okay, some people were laid off. There are lots of other buildings. I'm talking about there are places in Colorado that the whole town is military, or other federal
commissaries
facilities.
were empty on base
around Atlanta near the CDC.
Oh, that's
right around there.
Yeah.
CDC closed. I mean,
how many,
the ones that were upsetting were kids who were supposed to go in for chemotherapy treatment. Oh, we'll just wait 3 weeks. Yeah, well, in 3 weeks, a kid with cancer could be dead.
Yeah, these are clinical trials that were being performed at the National Institute for Health, a very important medical facility. And here you got these people that have lined up. They may have been waiting for months for an experimental treatment to see if it will help them. So they're scheduled to be at the NIH on October the 1st for their first treatment. They get there and it's closed. Do you have the money to go back home, to turn around and come back whenever it reopens? Is your kid going to make it? Is the guy that has the cancer going to make it till then? You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. I mean, as the full impact of this, I don't believe has been realized yet.
Right.
I really don't. I mean, when I picked up the paper and saw the picture of the commissary at Fort Carson, Colorado, that's Colorado Springs is my hometown. I was crushed. I mean, here's this guy standing in front of the meat counter in his fatigues. He probably just got off work trying to pick up something for dinner, and he's on the phone. And you can just imagine the conversation. Okay, this is what's here. What can we do with that? Thanks, Ted. And
but again, a lot of the federal workers got a couple of weeks off. They're going to be paid for it. They'll get their back pay. But it's that cup of coffee that they're not going to buy because they didn't come back to work and say, give me those 15 cups of coffee I missed.
And those Danish. And yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean,
so
you and I would have.
Yeah, we would have. Hey, listen, I
haven't
been here, so go ahead and load me up. Give me a couple of travel thingies and we'll be good. You know, but nobody does that.
Right.
You know, and here's the waitress who she didn't get any tips for 3 weeks. She couldn't pay her rent.
Well, she still might not be able to pay her rent next month.
Right, because she's 3 weeks behind.
Right.
She's got 3 weeks of tips that they're not going to come in and make up those 3 weeks of tips that they've been gone. But you and I would, but not everybody else would. So you got people that, and I love that congressman that says, "Oh, these fellas, they can just go get a loan." I don't have a job, you dumbass. I can't get a loan.
That comes under the Mitt Romney. If you can't afford to go to school,
ask your parents. I always love that one. We used that the other day. Just ask your parents.
Right.
I'm 55. I'm going back to school. Hey, can I have some money? Yeah, right.
Yeah, just ask your parents.
Just ask your parents. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. Did you ask your parents? No, me neither.
Do you know, actually, I went to a state school in New York. My tuition was $600 a year, went up to $850, I think. Not $600 a year, $600 a semester.
Okay.
Went up to $850, I think, my junior year.
Did you have to get a job?
And well, do you know, I worked summers. I didn't pay the whole thing. My parents paid part of it. My grandfather paid a little bit of it, but it was $600. $600.
I don't
that's
even
the
think
difference.
you can take one class
Do you
for
know
$600.
Books now?
Oh my gosh!
I know we were complaining about books when they went over $10, over $20.
Now
there were
they're
some
like
books
over hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, that's.
And I ask students, I say, well, can't you buy used books? He goes, they're gone before the class even starts.
Right.
So. And thank God that we have electronic media, that we can actually put those books online so these kids can study without spending gazillions of dollars on stupid books that nobody wants.
When they will let you put it online because it's copyrighted information.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. No, we need the book money. Yeah, we need the book money.
Yeah. So, but it is cheaper to just put it online.
Well, yeah, but
that's
the
not what
problem.
they're paying for. That's not what they're paying for. They're paying for the printing and the
cheaper. Yeah, there you go.
So,
it's just been a hell of a week, I'll tell you.
Now, another morning news story, and it's interesting how I always like to see how the GOP or the GOP press reports the GOP.
Yeah.
And I do consider them a Republican newspaper,
Duh.
even though the writers who work there mostly are not.
Right. Thank God.
Infighting in GOP only intensifies after budget brawl. This is fascinating. I heard a comment this morning as I was driving in, because I wasn't listening to you. No,
I'm crushed. Okay.
It was before your show.
Oh.
But I heard a comment this morning that said, the Democrats are more united than they've ever been, because Democrats are never united,
right?
And Republicans are more split than they've been at least since the 1970s.
Oh, no. That's so cool.
The GOP's clear defeat in the budget debt brawl has widened the rift between traditional Republicans and the blossoming Tea Party movement that helped revive the party. Implored by House Speaker John Boehner to unite and fight another day against President Barack Obama and Democrats, Republicans instead intensified attacks on one another, which is interesting.
They eat their own.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think that the Tea Party is going to see a huge defeat in 2014. An overwhelming defeat. If the seat is currently held by a tea hottest, I think there will be a Democratic opponent. If it is up for election and it's an empty seat, Cory Booker just beat the snot out of a tea hottest. And I hope that America is starting to wake up. Obviously, there's still 2 million people out there who think Ted Cruz is the next coming of Christ. I got news for you. He's not. He may be the next coming, but it ain't of Christ. I'll just tell you that. It's coming from the other direction, folks. I hope that's what's going to happen.
You know, and it's so hard to actually track because the Tea Party is not its own party.
Right.
Some candidates that are
on the fence,
like Cornyn, is he Tea Party?
No, he's a.
But he was out pandering to the Tea Party this week.
Yep.
Because he needs those votes.
Because he needs the votes.
You know, I'm going to vote for him, but you're not.
No, hell no. I've been thrown out of his office twice. That's right.
Well, you got to vote for somebody who likes to throw you out of
there.
No, but seriously, there are some candidates that they're kind of borderline. They vote Tea Party-ish sometimes. They pander, like Cornyn.
Like Cornyn, yeah.
But he's not really Tea Party. I mean, Ted Cruz proved that
there ain't nothing like a Tea Party.
you know, so are we just talking about the crazies there?
I don't, I think it's going to hurt the GOP. I do.
Here's what I think. I think some of these candidates who end up losing primaries in the spring are going to form a Tea Party and get themselves on a ballot, which will split the Republican vote, which will work to the benefit of some Democrats.
That's right.
Because there are two Republican parties now, basically.
There are.
There's the right-wing extremists.
That would be the wacko birds.
You know, the ones who believe that the dinosaurs were here the same time Adam and Eve was, and Jesus.
Yep.
And and then there are the conservatives.
Yeah.
Whose policies you and I might not agree with.
But we would be more, it's closer to the middle than it is to the right.
You know, Harriet Earhart, who was a state representative during the 90s, she was on my show one time, and she said, during one debate, when the Republicans and the Democrats really were listening to each other, she said, we ended up with better legislation because more people got more things. We need to take a break. Where you're listening to
Get Off My Crabgrass.
Rice and Wheat is located at 4906 Maple Avenue at Medical District in Dallas and offers a variety of Asian fusion dishes from Vietnamese, Thai, and Japanese influences, including pho, spinach pasta, bento boxes, and more with vegan options available, as well as beer, wine, and sake. Rice and Wheat is family-owned. Hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Knon thanks Rice and Wheat for their support. The third annual Knon Halloween Fey Voodoo Party is coming to Port David's Pub on Saturday, October 26th. Doors are at 8 p.m. for an evening of frightening fun with the spooky swamp sounds of JB and the Zydeco Posse. We may not be able to go to Haunted New Orleans for Halloween, but we can recreate the spirits of NOLA here. There will be costume contests with prizes for scariest, most original, and most Cajun. So start digging through your closets and planning your costume now. And even better, we will be celebrating Jim Bro for Monday night's Cajun Zydeco Music Party's birthday. Advance tickets are available at Knon. KNON.org, and Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie. That's the 3rd annual KNON Halloween Fey Voodoo with JB and the Zydeco Posse, celebrating Jim Bro's birthday with costume contests and more. Saturday night, October 26th at Poor David's Pub, located at 1313 South Lamar in Dallas. This is a KNON benefit event.
If it's time to get rid of your old gas guzzler, the KNON Vehicle Donation Program can help. There's still a market for those old vehicles, and if you donate it, you're helping to support quality programming here on KNON. Just call 877-KNON-AUTO or go online to KNON.org. We'll take care of everything from pickup to tax paperwork. That's 877-KNON-AUTO or online at KNON.org.
Welcome back to
Get Off My Crabgrass.
She's Bonnie Mathias. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm David Taffet. Not my birthday.
Thanks for being here.
I'm her candle.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that sweet? That's so sweet.
Yeah, we have such a great rapport. We've been on the air with each other just
like
3 weeks.
Yeah, and we're good.
And actually, I wasn't here last week. So.
No, you weren't. It was me and Patty.
Yeah.
I saw you sneaking in the door at the end.
I want to change gears a little bit. You know, it's real interesting with Ted Cruz, just to finish up. The Houston Chronicle basically rescinded their endorsement of him.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yes.
Oh, shoot,
but then they rescinded their rescinding.
No.
You think the morning news is nutty.
Houston says, no, we don't like him. Now we do like him?
No, they still don't like him. No, they do like him.
Okay.
But they don't like his behavior during this. Did we unendorse Ted Cruz? No.
We really.
Never did. What we said in the endorsement was that we hope he's a lot like Kay Bailey Hutchison, and we were just telling him during our unendorsement, which wasn't an unendorsement, that he wasn't like Kay Bailey Hutchison.
And seriously, how in the hell did you think he was ever like Kay Bailey Hutchison?
Going to be like her.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he never. No, I don't even think Kay Bailey Hutchison would endorse his behavior. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, in Florida, there is a real interesting case.
Yes.
A group of kids with ringleaders, 2 girls, one was 12, one was 14.
Mean girls.
Bullied a 12-year-old girl till she killed herself.
Yeah.
The girl was not gay. It was the gay community that pushed through all the anti-bullying legislation, but the gay community always said nobody should be bullied.
Period.
Not
for whatever reason.
And the
That's
groups
right.
should be enumerated so that teachers know we mean gay kids, we mean lesbian kids, we mean transgender kids, we mean for religious reasons, we mean for
if you look
origin,
we mean wear braces
because you're heavy, because you're too thin, because
you got pimples on your face, or you wear braces.
And the Dallas policy does that.
Yes.
Dallas adopted a policy that enumerates so that teachers know we don't tolerate this, we don't tolerate this, and it goes through, and then it says, and any other reason.
And any other, we don't tolerate bullying.
Tolerate bullying. Now, does it still go on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Has it helped?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so in Florida, they bullied this girl until she killed herself. She jumped off of a cement
concrete tower.
Tower, yeah.
Yeah.
Now one of the mothers has been arrested.
Is she a bully too?
Where do you think bullying comes from?
Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy.
Now, the mother, and I wish everybody could see it, that's the mother.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a real sad picture. The mother of one of the 2 girls is facing charges over the suicide of a bullied 12-year-old Florida girl. She was jailed Friday on child abuse charges in a case that the authorities are saying is unrelated. Does this surprise you?
Unrelated?
Well, of course it's related, but it's not directly.
Okay.
It's other child abuse.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Of course.
I mean, a bully is usually the product of bullies.
Where else do you learn how to bully?
That's it. I mean, you learn it from home.
Sure.
Maybe you've got your grandpa's a real big, strong personality guy.
Now, why is this one making national news? Because the sheriff, who is my second favorite sheriff in the country after Lupe.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Joe Arpaio. I'm
No.
going to have to hurt you.
No.
No, Lupe. Yes, I love Lupe.
I love this guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
Because what did he do?
He arrested these two girls, showed their pictures, said their names, and they're in big trouble. They made this little girl,
and then he said, I don't have charges that I can file against the parents, but I'm looking into what I can file against the parents because the parents are responsible. And he said the parents of the older girl seem to be more responsible than the parents of the younger girl. The parents of the younger girl seem to be, this is horrible, I can't believe our kid was doing this. The older one, the mother said, oh, of course we monitored her Facebook. Well, after the bullying, that a lot of it took place on Facebook, after the bullying took place, after the kid killed herself, why did you give the kid her Facebook page back again? If your kid is the one who was the ringleader and identified as the ringleader. So he's going after the parents. He's going after the school officials.
Good.
The parents complained, I forgot how many times. It was more than 5.
Yeah, a bunch. A lot.
And then they had to take their daughter out of school. So at the time she killed herself, she wasn't even in the school system anymore.
No, but the girls were on Facebook saying ugly things. You should drink bleach and die?
Now,
let me have that child. Just give me 20 minutes.
So he's going after the school officials, too, to see what charges he can bring against them.
Well, obviously they were ignoring the situation. They didn't separate this young woman or the two bullies. They didn't take them out of class.
Now, they can't do much about the social media part of it.
No.
They can do something, and you know what that is? In class, you can have a discussion with kids about proper use of social media.
Absolutely.
Does that mean that will end it? No.
But maybe it'll help.
And maybe kids will start thinking about it in a way that their own parents have never, or maybe it'll just reinforce what the parents are saying.
Right.
So this sheriff, and you told me, I hadn't heard this, why he's going after them.
Because children that are bullies are usually a product of bullying.
No, but what he said was that he had to go to the crime scene, to the scene, and he had to pick up the body.
People are yelling at him, how dare you expose these girls and say their names and show their pictures. And he said, they did not have to go to this crime scene and recover this child's body. And I believe he said maybe they should have.
You know, one of the bullying cases in Texas was Asher Brown.
Okay.
And in Asher's case, Asher went to Cy-Fair schools, which is northwest Houston, I believe. Okay. Cy-Fair ISD, which is separate from Houston ISD. And in that school system, because I did a bunch of investigating here, and I became friendly with Asher's parents, so I heard more one side. The school was no comment. And the other thing I heard from the school was, why aren't you giving both sides of the story? Because you're giving me no comment. There are two sides. The other thing I heard was from an anonymous caller. If Asher Brown's parents actually went to the school, then how come there is no phone record or no record in the system that they have to sign into to get into the school? And I said, well, who is this? And they said, oh, I'm just somebody who lives down in Houston. Well, it wasn't somebody who lives down in Houston. It was somebody from the school district calling me, trying to
derail and to discredit.
The school system did everything they could to blame the parents. Now, Asher in school, this story has, maybe it's not true, and if it's not true, they didn't give us any evidence that it wasn't true. Asher came home from school with bruises the day before he killed himself. He was thrown down a flight of stairs, and the next day, or he picked himself up, and he was thrown down another flight of stairs.
Jeez.
Now, in what universe is that not assault with intent to kill?
Yeah. I mean, you pick
when
him
you
up.
throws, and he was a little kid.
Oh, of course, they always pick on the little kids. You
Yeah.
don't see bullies picking on big kids, right? Because they can't beat up the big kids.
In what universe is that not at least assault? There was no investigation. No kid has been identified yet as being responsible for any of
Oh,
this.
he threw himself down the stairs.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Well, no, the school's side of it is that didn't happen.
Well, how the hell did he get hurt then? Nobody knows. It's a mystery.
About a year later, what the accusation started being was, no, he was abused at home.
Yeah, I bet his mom don't look like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why his parents worked so hard to get the bullying bill through.
Yeah.
Same stories. There were several other bullying cases where kids killed themselves here in Texas. And I'm using that example because I spoke to Asher's parents several times. Do you know, for a year afterwards, and actually it was more than a year afterwards, for a year afterwards, Asher's father, who had been out of work, could not get a job. They said they'd go out onto their front yard, and people would be driving by slowly. He'd come out in the morning. People had thrown trash all over their yard. I mean, it was unbelievable because they were stirring up the pot in that part of Houston.
You know,
their kid was killed.
Yeah.
No,
child,
he wasn't killed.
He
committed
himself.
suicide.
He committed suicide.
No, he was killed.
He was killed. He was murdered. It's no different than you pulling the trigger.
I love this sheriff.
Yeah.
Because he's setting an example. He's saying this is the first time in a bullying case. And the girl, actually, there's some the bullying started when she started going out with one of the bully's boyfriends or something like that. It was something like that.
Weird thing.
This wasn't a gay bullying case at all.
No.
And it doesn't matter.
And I don't think she was really even going. She was just a friend.
Something.
I mean, she's like 12.
She's 12.
So, she started being friendly with one of the girl's boyfriends. Maybe he reached out to her because he felt sorry for her because his girlfriend is a... Yeah.
What's the difference?
You
just don't do these kinds of things. I love this sheriff who's going after the family, the parents, and
the school.
And the thing is, he's going after the one set of parents that are unrepentant, showing no remorse for what's gone on. The girl herself is still in custody, not giving her bail, and I don't know if it would actually be bail, but because they're going to be tried as juveniles. Actually, they might not be.
That's right.
But even if however they're tried, a 12-year-old would normally be. They're not letting her out because she's
a danger to others.
She's showing absolutely no, not just remorse, but
no feelings about it.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to understand what happened. So anyway, now the mother of one of the kids has been arrested on child abuse charges. She's being held without bond in the Polk County Jail. Polk County is between Orlando and Tampa. It's that county just in between. On 2 counts of child abuse with bodily harm and 4 counts of child neglect. Well, maybe that's where the kids' bullying started from.
I would guess that would be
because when the mother beats up the kid beats up the smaller kid.
The smaller kid. That's it. Exactly. And this woman, she's a piece, I'll tell you.
Well, she looks like she's about to just cry.
She should.
Maybe she's getting it now.
Maybe
she's getting it.
Maybe.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping
so.
that. I mean, that is the saddest frown.
Yeah. She's very unhappy.
She is very, very unhappy in this picture. Maybe she's getting it that this is serious.
Oh wait, you mean that's wrong? Yeah, it's wrong. I mean, obviously you neglected your child or children, and you're now in jail for abusing that child, and your child is in jail for killing another child. you might want to wake up and smell the coffee, sister. It's you.
No, even if you just want to call her, bullying her to death.
Yeah, bullying her to death. That's it. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I got picked on in school a lot. Kind of a little heavier, and I was kind of mean sometimes. I know you find that so hard to believe. I do find that hard to believe. But it was a fear mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be mean because otherwise people were going to pick on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this reputation that I was mean, which was cool with me because nobody messed with me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of sad because you don't want to be that kind of person. You don't want to be ugly and mean and hang out with the weird kids. Well, no, I really did want to hang out with the weird kids. Never mind. But you got to build up some kind of a mechanism to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But some kids don't know how. They don't know how to do that because their parents are trying to help, but they don't know how to help. And then you got little girls like this that are just watch the movie Mean Girls because it is these are mean girls.
Mm-hmm.
They are just ugly, rude, nasty little girls.
There's a difference, though, when you talk about the bullying that you went through.
Yeah.
Now, you're 76 years old, and
and I look marvelous.
You do look marvelous. So back in the 1920s, while there was bullying in school,
right,
it wasn't bullying that led to kids' deaths.
No. You have a fight in the playground. And
are some kids mean? Yeah, that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
People come from different backgrounds.
Right.
People have different, whatever, and it's going to happen.
Yep.
We get that.
Yep.
This crossed the line.
But
the thing is, a whole bunch of other suicides crossed the line.
Exactly.
This sheriff is taking it seriously.
And standing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Standing up, showing pictures, giving names, naming names. That's the way it should be. You should be shamed for what you did. I mean, regardless of what legal consequences there's going to be, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, and that's the difference between one of the families and the other family.
Yeah, one family's like, whatever.
Yeah.
She just died.
They
she killed
just
herself.
don't get it. They just don't get it.
And the other family is crushed. I mean, to believe that their daughter has something to do with this. Oh, my God, this is horrible. We've raised a monster. But the other woman, she is a monster, so there you go. Monsters, Inc. No, that's a cute movie. Never mind.
I'm glad some people are taking it seriously.
I am,
though.
too. I think it's about time.
I love this sheriff.
Yeah.
I love that he's really taking this completely seriously. Anyway, that's the end of Get Off My Crabgrass.
Get off my crabgrass. It's over.
And we might never be back.
We might never.
Because there's some new mystery show that will be on next week.
Yep.
I think it's going to be...
Mel doesn't know. She's like, I don't know.
I think it's probably going to be the KNON Garden Show, where you can call in... Yeah.
Oh, Patty's like, cool!
Get on my lawn.
Get on my lawn, yay! Get on my crabgrass.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call about, should I compost or... We actually have no idea what next week's show is.
We're making this up, okay? Because it could very well be me and David.
And if it is, we're going to take gardening questions next week.
Okay. Who's going to be here to answer them? We're just taking the questions. We're not answering them.
I'll answer them.
Oh, are you a gardener?
No.
Okay, cool. Don't call next week with gardening questions.
Don't call next week with gardening questions, and I will give you the worst answer possible.
Okay, there you go. Then you can turn around and
You know what I did one year?
Call Neil Sperry.
My lawn had turned bright yellow, and I got tired of fertilizing and watering because it was like the hottest summer, so I spray painted it. It worked. I had the greenest lawn on the block.
That absolutely
And that's the end of our show for today. See you next week.
Bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.